In this video, first let's talk about the state object and the re-rendering process, and then let's learn how to manage the state object using the useState hook. Next, we will take a closer look at the syntax of the useState hook with its usage. Finally, let's wrap things by creating a keyword adding component. Let's start the video by talking about React state object and the re-rendering process. When we develop real-world React applications, we make number of components, and React itself needs to keep track of each and every component. To achieve this, it uses an inbuilt object known as the state object. Now, the state is unique for each component. It holds the current information about the particular component. The information can be the variable values, the function declarations, and the JSX. To demonstrate a simple state change, let's make use of this example component. The text hello world is registered to the state of the example component. If we go and update this, you can see in the right hand side the text also updates. This happens because the state in the example component picks that up and updates itself. As a result, the browser re-renders. If you think of a running application, we cannot change the values just like we did. There should be a mechanism that allows us to change the values as we need. It should support dynamic re-rendering. To achieve this, we can make use of the useState hook. It allows us to handle complex state logic. Now, the complex state logics resulting in rich user interfaces. In order to use the useState hook, first we need to import it to a component. I will type import curly braces use state from React. Now our component is ready to use the useState hook. Now let's declare a variable using the useState hook. To do that, we have to type const square brackets name of the variable, I will say title, and the setter method for the variable set title equals useState in parentheses any default value that you wish to enter. Instead of manually typing the values, let's use the useState hook we created now. I will add the word world here. Instead of YouTube, I will add the JSX expression to display the variable title and save that. Now the component updates and the browser re-renders this thing as world. And in order to change, we will add a button YouTube, and in the onClick event, we will define an anonymous function, and we will use the setter method of the title, set title, and now we need the value to be YouTube, and save that. If I click the button, the value changes. Similarly, Twitter, Facebook, LinkedIn. Save that. Twitter, Facebook, LinkedIn. As you can see, now we can change the values without manually typing. All the controls are in the front end. This is the power of the useState hook. It allows us to use the state as we need. Now let's take a closer look at the useState hook variable. We will create a new variable. Const square brackets name of the variable, setter method for the variable equals useState parentheses, and for the initial value I will say arts. Now you can see there are three parts for this variable: name of the variable, setter method of the variable, and the initial value for the variable. Let's talk about the name of the useStateHook variable. The name is subject. Now this variable can be used inside JSX. As an example, I will type h1 and use a JSX expression and set the value as subject. Similarly, we can use the value inside a function. To demonstrate that, I will create a new function, const my function, and I will log the value, log subject, and I will use a button to call the function. Button, click me, on click, an anonymous function, my function. So when I press click me, you can see the value is being logged to the console. Instead of directly calling to the setter method, we can use the setter method inside our functions. Let's create a function, const prefix equals and then I will create a variable const pre equals my subject is, and then we can use the set subject method here, set subject, and we will replace the current value with prefix plus science. So we will use a button to call this method. Science, and we will replace this with the function name prefix. Alright, when we click the button, it says my favorite subject is science. You can see we have used the setter method inside one of our functions. When it comes to default values in useStateHook variables, they are completely optional. As you can see in the example, I have added the value default as the default value. If I remove this, it would not give me an error. If I use a JSX expression, and place the vehicle, it will not give me an error in the browser. If I set something here, say car, then it will take the value and update the UI. The default value doesn't have to be a string. It can be something like an array, an object, or even in complex scenarios, it can be a component. To demonstrate the default value as an array, let's create a new useStateHook variable. I will call this const items and set items equals useState, and for the default value I will create an array. It will have phone, TV and radio. Now we can go ahead and use these values inside our components. As an example, I will loop through these values. For that, let's use the map method for looping. And we will use a JSX expression and say items dot map, and inside item to denote a single element, and key, and then equals this, and we will return a single JSX element, which is the list item element, list item, and inside that item, and this will be identified by the key, which is coming from the map method. And when we save that, we can see the list is being populated. We will now add a new element to our items array. To do that, first let's create a function. This will be const add laptop equals, and in here the setter method set items, and I want to convert the current array into a new array. We will use the spread operator to get the current values, items, comma, and the new laptop value. Alright, now let's create a button to call this method. Say button add laptop, and in on click add laptop. Save that. Let's click the button. As you can see, the complex array now is being updated. To demonstrate using objects with useState variable, let's look into an example. First, let's create an object, const default student, name is John Doe, age is 25, and the country is USA. Let's create a useState variable, const student set student, set a method equals useState, and we will use that object default student. Right, let's now display that value in JSX er and 3 student name inside the JSX expression student dot name the age country and country. Let's go ahead and save that. You can see the values are being shown. Let's create a button to update the name. Say button change name, on click change name, a function to change the name, const change name, and in this function set student, the setter method, we will provide a new object. Let's use the spread operator to get the existing fields, student, comma, and our new field name, and the value will be
Jane Smith. Save that and click the button, change name. You can see the name changes. So we can use the objects in our useState variables.
With the things that we have learned so far, let's now create a keyword adding widget. We will use an array with the useState hook. So initially, let's say const default keywords are gonna be TutJunction and React. Next, we will create a useState hook variable with these default keywords. It will be const keywords set keywords equals useState, and we will pass in default keywords. And now to add styles to this widget, I will go to my website and copy the styles from there. I will also provide the link in the description for you to copy the same. So it is tutjunction.com, React and useState. If you scroll to this section where it says React useState example, create a keyword adder using array append. So if we come here, I will copy this set of styles, paste it in here. Okay. Next, let's set up the JSX. Return and div. The style is example styles. Then we will add another div which will have the style of example styles dot keyword container, and within that keyword container, let's map our existing keywords dot map. We will take a single keyword and an index. We will return a span element. It will have the key from index and the style is example styles dot keyword style. And the value will be keyword. Let's go ahead and save. And for the next thing, we will create an input to take in the new values. It will be input. The type is text. And the style is example styles dot input style. Let's add a placeholder. Add keyword. Right. So the value is new keyword, which is also a useState hook variable. Const new keyword, set new keyword, which is equals use state, and initially the value will be empty, and in the onChange event of the input element we will take in the event object, and we will set new keyword variable with the typed value, which is e.target.value, and next we will add a button that will append the newly added keyword to the array, which is append and the style is example styles dot button style, and in the click event on click we will call a function append keyword. Let's go ahead and create that function, const append keyword, right, and let's set the keywords array again, and this time we will set keywords and use the spread operator to get the current keywords, and let's get the value from the input, which is new keyword, and then let's reset the input by setting the new keyword value to empty string. Set new keyword to an empty string. Let's go ahead and save that. Use state, append that. As you can see, the values are being appended and the input is being cleared. That marks the end of this tutorial, and I want to thank you for watching. Please give us a like, share and subscribe for more awesome content. Turn on the bell notification to get notified as we upload new content. Stay safe and let's meet on the next one.